Good.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Dumb SEO Questions, episode 338. Each week we meet here to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions, the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group. With us today we have Masataki Wasa. Masataki is webmaster of wasaweb.net. He resides in Wimbledon, in the suburb of London. He is a Google product expert in the AdSense community. Tim Capper is CEO of onlineownership.com. He's based in Corby, about 100 miles north of London, and he is sweating it out there. He's a Google product expert in the Google My Business community. I should have mentioned, just so that line made sense. It's a record temperature in the UK today. And another from the UK, David Rozam. He's a leading internet marketer. He's based in West Sussex, somewhere near Brighton, and you can find David at David Rozam at davidrozam.com. Tim Capper at onlineownership.com and Masataki at wasaweb.net. All right, so we have 7 questions tonight. First one from Niraj Kumar. It's titled Spamming Google. Niraj said Patna is the capital of Bihar state in India. See the map listing in the screenshot. He said, do these agencies first get approved for agency name and then changed the agency name to keywords? Or do the people at Google who send the PIN envelopes, or are the people at Google who send the PIN envelopes dumb enough or blind enough to not sense this malpractice? People are proudly announcing that they are ranking for a keyword. Heavens above. All right.
So Niraj, we would like to think that Google has something in place that once you've created a business listing, it somehow checks the name of the business. But yeah, no, they don't have an algo that can unfortunately do that, because if it went by domain name, sometimes your business is not the same as your domain name. Not everyone is integrated with Search Console Analytics, where they could then see possibly a domain name if they used it in their analytics or their webmaster tools. So yeah, you would like to think that an algo could do this, but it doesn't. And equally, there's no possible amount of staffing in the world that could physically check the amount of listings that were created on a daily basis. Hence, Google's reliance and the creation of local guides. It used to be Mapmaker, but now it's local guides. I did look at some of those, and yeah, man, they're pretty bad. I've reported a shed load of them, but you can also report them. In fact, I don't know why I never added it into the let me just, I'm just going to find the Sherbet. Yeah. So you can I should have posted a link, but if you do it, it's not called spam reporting form. It's search for business redressal complaint form. Google My Business, obviously, business redressal complaint form. That is a spam reporting. So you can then, I would recommend there's quite a shed load there. I've already reported a ton of them, but create yourself a Google Doc, add your stuff in, and then attach your Google Doc. You have to put one example, add your Google Doc in, attach your Google Doc into it. Yeah, they're pretty bad. And I noticed there's one company there, also something with a B, I can't remember, some funny name, who created multiple listings. So I've sent that one off separately also. It'll take a bit of time for them to go through it. But, yeah, report them. And unfortunately, yeah, you would like to think an algo got involved, but it doesn't. Neither do humans. You start off with a certain amount of trust level with your account, and then you can either increase that or decrease that. But report them. When you come across it, just change the name, report it. If you get no result from that, just report it as use the business redressal complaint form. Ultimately, they start getting little checks next to their account. And if they keep mucking about, so it's best if you have got the time. I know it's not possible, but if you have got the time, do it. If you just come across them in map, just use suggest edit, and those appear in the back end for Google. Whenever they start looking at these things, they can see that people have tried to correct the name multiple occasions and they've just changed it back. And if it ever, so yeah, look, unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. Yeah, it's a bit of a meh. It's a bit of a meh.
Well, it may be a mess, but at least you managed to make some sense of it for us, Tim. Thank you. All right, let's move on to number 2 on our run list. This one from Sorab Rawat. It's titled "The Age of a Page, Is It a Ranking Factor?" And he said, domain age is not a ranking factor. Okay. I'm not so sure about that. Just because Google says it isn't, doesn't mean it isn't. But anyway, Sorab goes on to say, but what about content/page age? Is that a ranking factor? Actually, we know new content, it takes time to be ranked. That means content age affects ranking. No, not necessarily. What do you guys think about it?
No, a new article. So, for example, if I publish something on my own site, or if something gone onto a client site, and there's a regular pattern of content going on, Google finds it, indexes it pretty quickly. Typically, articles that are published or content that's published, unless it's a very highly competitive kind of thing where, search query where it's fitting in, typically it starts off pretty much near the top. And then over time, the evergreen factor, there's no evergreen in articles, especially if it's a competitive sort of vertical. It then slowly starts to decrease. So that's definitely not, it's definitely not a ranking factor there. The ranking factor is, does Google feel it's the authority in that field? And do they want to show it for that search query because it's the best result for that? You can go and do this for yourself, Surab. Pick yourself a subject and go and create. Let's just say you can even just, I'm going to say it, you go and create a Wix site just around a particular topic, right? put some brilliant stuff on there, some guides, some, I don't know, technical specs, documents, like, you know, just go to town on it and see where it appears. It's, I don't, you know, domain age, yeah, used to have something, but, you know, Google's moved on from this kind of stuff. So if you're thinking of like, you know, you can take a new site. It all depends how you launch it, what kind of content you provide, how you market it. It's not just about the domain, you know, the domain age.
Thank you, Tim. All right. If nobody has anything to add, we'll move on to number 3 on our run list. Right. This one, another one from Sorab. It's titled 301 Redirection to a 404 Landing Page. He said, is it good SEO practice if I send deleted pages to a specific 404 error page, brackets / not found, by using a 301 redirection? Well,
Yeah, you could do, but your CMS should do that for you when you remove a page anyway. But yeah, you could do. But if that page is never coming back, it should return a 404, you know, in the header response. If you 301 it, it's going to 301 is going to be the header response, and it's never going to be seen as a 404. I don't think. I'm not an expert in this.
Yeah. Wouldn't they appear as soft 404s?
Yeah. It's all about the header response. How would he do?
So what I think he has is he has a 404 page, customized 404 page. So, you know, this page has been deleted or moved, etc., which return. But the problem is then what he's doing is he's redirecting pages that have gone. So that's 301. And he's redirecting to a 404 page, which is returning 200, because that's the location of the 404 page. So whereas he should be, if it's an Apache site, error document, 404, specify which that page 404 page, then the header response will be 404. The visitor will see the error page. Everyone's happy. Whereas what he's doing is really not helpful, because he's redirecting the source that's gone to a 404 page, which returns a 200. And will appear as soft 404s if everything works. Otherwise, it's sending a very mixed message.
Thank you, Mesa. Anybody else? All right, Sorab, I hope that is what you are looking for. Let's go now to the 4th question on our run list from Michael Stricker. Michael is usually answering questions, not asking, although this seems like an informational post. It's titled Serial Days of Google Search Flux. It's fairly cryptic. He said 3 serial days of mass Google search flux. To many, this is not a drill. He said it could be an algorithmic update or tweaks to prior updates. Anyone with a comment? Michael Martinez certainly had one on the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything particular. There's been the usual ups and downs. I'm I'm still not convinced these days that we should be talking about algo updates. Really, I generally see ups and downs, and most of the time they don't actually fit in with what the SEO world is having a panic about. Days when everyone seems to be saying there's bloodshed and dead bodies all over the place, nothing happens. A few days later, while everyone's smiling, something weird happens and things go down for a couple of days and they go up again. I think it's Google.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I will say that I do see regular changes with is my two clients in the medical field. There has definitely been a bit of chaos going on there, but normal regular type sites, businesses, there's the usual ebb and flow, but nothing like that the forums and webmasters are reporting. It would be interesting to see, or it would be actually quite helpful when people go, oh, my site's been decimated, to actually say what kind of site it is. that would be good to see. But I certainly have noticed medical field has been in a lot of turmoil this year. But as normal businesses, like David said, there's a sort of usual ebb and flow.
Yep. All right, let's move on to number 5 on our run list. This one from Jesus Sanchez Analda. It's titled "Swapping Homepage with Another Page." Jesus said, "Hi, I've just made a big change in my website. One of the internal pages has now become the homepage, and the homepage is now an internal page." Don't fight or don't fight over this, guys.
Is this a 2-page website? It's have.
Well, he could have. I don't know why you did that, Josie. What I'm guessing is that his main term, his homepage wasn't ranking for his main, what he perceived to be was his main search query for the business or the site, and this internal page was appearing. So then I'm assuming that his logic was, right, well, I'm going to wow. So in that instance, I think you should have rather, in fact, I think I would undo what you've done. And I would take the content, which obviously Google perceives to be more relevant. I would then probably look at, because it seems that this internal page and your home page, one or the other, they're cannibalizing each other. So I would probably undo it and rework the content on your home page, and then relook at your internal page.
Yeah, I mean, oops, sorry. Like Richard in the comments and like Tim said, I'm confused and don't see the logic behind this move. The assumption I think he has, the assumption that Joseph seems to have, is that the homepage should be should be where the most popular page should be, or most popular content should be found. That doesn't necessarily have to be the case, in that homepage may serve a different function from perhaps the most popular web page that is on your site, right? So if someone's looking for something specific, and that happens to be a very popular thing that people search, then it's no surprise that an internal page gets picked up and served as a response to that query. It doesn't have to be the homepage. So I think that fundamental assumption is not something that I really understand. Why he felt the need to make the popular page the homepage, because then your homepage might not be serving the function of a homepage.
Yeah. The other thing that concerns me is somewhere Josu describes this internal page as a money page. So I think the line of thought may be that that is a page that is doing whatever he wants the page to do, so he wants to put it on his own page because he thinks that's the best place for it. I would just leave it where it is and let Google happily point people to it if it's ranking that well.
Yep. All right, I'm going to call this one answered, and we'll move on to number 6 on our run list from Nemi Gill. Nemi asked the question. It's titled Unmatched Schema Markup. Nemi said, schema markup, if a website has markup for items that are not found on the page, is it going to receive any penalty? For example, markup for star ratings and none are found on the page.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry. Carry on, Tim.
So if you're marking up your aggregate rating and it's not on page, and also if it's running site-wide, or just select amount of pages, but there isn't actually on there. They Google's pretty hot on giving you a manual penalty for spammy structured data markup. Does it actually affect how the pages appear in search? No. So it's not that kind of a penalty, but you will get a penalty and it will not display them. You need to fix it, apply for, say that you fixed it, it gets rechecked, and then you're good to go again. So yeah, don't mark up stuff that's not on page.
Yep.
What Tim
and David said what Tim. Yeah, go ahead, David. All right, we're moving on to number 7 on our run list. Jason Chong asked the question titled Author Bio on the About page. Jason said, I was reading this article and considering the author bio suggestion. Currently, my site, the Sole Trader Service Business, has an About page with my background, etc., i.e. my bio. I'm not sure how to best associate that with my articles that I write on my site. Do I need to find a way to 301 author archive page to my existing bio or modify author archive somehow? Set something in Schema to point the author page to my current about/bio page, or something else? What is the best way to accomplish this? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that. I've got a yeah, I mean, I don't see any problem in it, redirecting to your actual about page. I do it on my site because I provide a lot more information on that about myself, the business, etc., 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 than on the author bio page. Like the author bio page just is crap. It's, unless you can modify it. But for me, it's like, well, I've got everything on the one page about myself and the business and the history and etc., etc., etc. And for me, it just makes sense. So I redirect the author bio page to the about page. That's what I do. It works well. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do.
Thank you, Tim. All right, it seems like it's that time again. We've answered all of the questions asked on the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group. We'll be back at the same time next week to do this all again. I must thank people like Michael Martinez, Michael Stricker, people who answer the questions through the week on our Facebook group. Their contribution is immensely valuable. We thank them very much. I also thank Tim Capo, Masataki Wasa, David Rozan for answering the questions this week and every week, and next week, hopefully. All right, and we'll be back at about the same time next week. But in the meantime, good night, and thank you very much.